I find it difficult to know which is more painful between relationship heartbreak and admission heartbreak, but you don't want to experience either of the two. That is all I know. I've seen people invest so much money and effort into getting an admission only to eventually get a no. It can be heartbreaking. Oops. And you are wondering, who did I offend? Well, you might not actually offend anybody. It's most likely to be your SOP. So in this video, I'll be teaching you step-by-step guides on how to write a compelling and well-articulated SOP that won't get your admission denied. So if you are planning to apply for a program or you have somebody that is planning to, kindly watch this video and please recommend it, share with your loved ones. And do not forget to subscribe if you have not. Now, to get started. Essentially, your SOP is an opportunity for you to stand out and convince the admission committee that you are capable and you deserve the admission. It should highlight your career goals, your background, and so many information that will help the admission committee to get to know you and base their decision on. And there are some important things the admission committee look at. If you fail to include that in your SOP or you didn't communicate it effectively, it might give them a red flag about you. Now, we'll be looking into how to structure your SOP effectively. In the first paragraph, you want to highlight the problem. Those are where you're coming from. Highlight the problem that you want to use the degree to solve. Like that, you are proposing to them that, okay, this particular thing is at risk if you don't give me the admission. Starting like that will help them see the relevance of the degree to you. It's not just, telling them that you've worked or you've had your undergraduate in this particular program. It also made them understand that you already have a problem you want to use the degree to solve, and that is really encouraging if you ask me. However, don't just go about and look for any problems. Make sure the problem you are choosing can actually be solved with the program that you're applying for. So it must be relevant and it must be worth it. Those two things you have to remember. In the second paragraph, you want to extend on the problem that you've already proposed. You talk about the implications and how your program will come into play, the role it's going to play to help you solve this problem. You talk about the people that are affected, probably your own country or even the US. This is where you get to convince them that the problem is actually worth solving because the country is at risk, the people are at risk, or a particular segment of the society is in disorder. In the third paragraph, you have the opportunity to talk about your academic journey. This is where you state your foundation in the particular program that you are pursuing. For example, your undergraduate days, what did you study? What are the courses that you have taken that might have prepared you for this particular program that you are applying for? Take that into consideration. And also your research. Graduate school is usually mostly about research. And in the third paragraph, you want to explain academic papers that you have written and are also related to the particular program you are pursuing. For example, I did mass communication in my undergraduate and I researched about COVID-19 and mass media communication. So when I was writing my SOP for communication studies, it was easier for me to talk about my research because it was in line with what I was intending to study. So you want to make sure that you bring into play all the academic writing that you have done in the past that are relevant to that field. All of this will tell the admission committee that you have a solid foundation and can fit perfectly well for the program. In the fourth paragraph, you propose your research interest for the master's or PhD. Back to the problem you want to solve. Carve a research topic or kind of research interest around the problem you are intending to solve with your degree. You talk about that and then you make them realize why it is important as well. And a quick secret, make sure to go to the website and read about the staff. You'll probably get one or two professors which research area is related to your research interest. And this is when you bring the person in. When you're proposing the research you want to study, you can bring the person in that, oh, you've read this person's work and you believe that your work will have a good supervision under this social professor. That is a good score because that tells them that you've done an adequate research about the program and you are a really good student. Do you get? Moving on to the fifth paragraph. This is when you talk about your interest in graduate assistantship. You don't just write, oh, please give me graduate assistantship. No, you discuss work experience that might have prepared you for that role. For example, if you're applying for, let's say, a teaching assistantship role, You have to tell them, coupled with the fact that you had a good or solid foundation in this particular field, you have also taught students in the past, probably in the undergraduate days or secondary school students, as long as you have experience to show for it. It tells them that, okay, you can cope in that particular field. You know well enough to teach. For people that don't know what graduate assistantship means, graduate assistantship is an opportunity for funding. You get to work with the department either as a teaching assistant or a research assistant, and you get paid for it. It might cover 100% of your tuition fee or 80% or 90%, and you also get stipend on a monthly basis. So this is your opportunity to convince them by explaining that you are more than capable for the role, so you can be considered, because you also know that it's competitive. Now, paragraph 6, which is the last paragraph, you get to talk about your long and short-term goals. But be careful. Any goals you are stating as either your long or short-term goals must be relevant to the degree you want to pursue. Let me restate that. You want to make sure that there is a factor of the program you're applying for in your short and long-term goals. It's not just that you get the goals and you drop it somewhere. No. It's like a continuous process. That helps them to know that, okay, this particular degree is needed to prepare you for this particular goal that you want to achieve. For example, if you say you want to become a professor in the field of communication, and you tell them that my long-term goal is to become a professor in this particular field, nobody needs to tell them you need that degree to become a professor. It's self-explanatory. So you can be on the safe side by making sure that both your short and long-term goals are actually in line with the program you want to pursue. Do you get? There is no way you will have all these things well explained, well organized, and you will not be considered for the admission. And that is it. To do a quick recap, you introduce the problem you intend to solve with the degree, and then in the second paragraph, you extend more needs on the implication, why it is important, and now the degree will help you solve the problem. And you can go on in the third paragraph to talk about your academic journey, the courses that you might have taken that would have prepared you well for the program. And in the fourth paragraph, you propose your research interest. Make sure it aligns with the problem you propose in the paragraph 1. Then in the fifth paragraph, you talk about the graduate assistantship interest. Talk about the work experience you've had in the past that might have prepared you well. Talk about the skills that you've gathered over the years that will make you perform excellently in that role. And you round it up with your long and short-term goals and how the degree and the school at large will help you achieve those goals. It is very simple. It is not harder than that. Just make sure you explain this thing well and use online tools to proofread whatever it is that you have written, because they're also gauging your communication skills. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to drop it in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer, because that is what I'm here for. Till next time, we'll be meeting again. Kindly ensure to subscribe to this channel if you have not, because why not? There are a lot of juicy content in store for you, and you can only get to see that if you subscribe and also turn on your notification bell. Above all, remember to share with your loved ones. Be a reason why somebody will have a successful application process. After all, we rise by lifting others. See you in my next video.